Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be an exciting video, a video I have never done before, and that is the 24-hour reading challenge. I love watching people do these, and I've always wanted to do one for myself, and now it is finally time because I think I have the most perfect TBR to do a 24-hour reading challenge. There are some other factors too, like I am behind on my reading goals, I am in a reading slump and kind of need a push. Many factors making up the reason why I want to do this, but number one reason is I have always wanted to, and number two reason is great TBR. The reason why I think my TBR is so good is because I have just such a good diverse TBR this month. I have fast-paced books, I have more slow-paced, I have short books and whatnot. So let me just get into what the TBR is going to be for this video so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. First, Wildfire. Very fast-paced romance. This is going to be so perfect for when I just need something to get through, like maybe towards the middle or towards the end, just something to like keep me going after I'm like, you know, exhausted of reading all day. So that's a perfect book for that. Next I have Cat Brushing, which I think this will actually be the book I start with because it is a short story book. I can read a few, take a break, read something else, and I just think it's going to be a good book for a 24-hour reading challenge because I also think it's going to be very cozy and just something fun. Next we have The Missing of Claire Dulene. I always get that wrong, so I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I always want to just say Claudine, like from Monster High. Anywho, this book is big, but I am really wanting to read this, like extremely want to read this because I just want to continue with the series. This is book 2, and so the last book I read, like from this series, I sat straight for like 4 or 5 hours just reading. So I mean, come on, that's a perfect contender. And then we have A Psalm for the Wild-Built. Nice little short sci-fi. When I just need a nice quick break, get a book done, she's here. And I have Unbound. I have been craving to read this book for months. I wanted to read it, but I never did. Recently, haven't necessarily cared, but my craving for it was just so strong that I feel like, you know, maybe it is a good book. You know, maybe it's so fast-paced, maybe it's just gonna get me going where I need to go. And then last but not least is the audiobook I've been listening to, which is My Lady Jane. I will listen to this when I'm like, you know, on the move, like I'm going from place to place, or I'm cooking dinner or whatnot, you know? That's what I'm going to use. I only have 4 hours left, so I really think I could finish it today. So this will be my TBR for 24 hours. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on the first book. In, and I have officially read 2 stories from Cat Brushing, and I have to say, not what I was expecting at all. A lot of sexual old ladies, and was not expecting that. Alright, anywho, I also am going to stop reading this for now because it's giving me lots of anxiety. Alright. I thought this was going to be about like stories from, you know, grandparents giving it to their grandchildren, telling them like, back in my day this wasn't allowed, but I believe people should be happy, whatnot, you know, like giving life advice and stuff like that. That's really what I thought this was going to be about. And I guess it is about old people finding their happiness and stuff, and telling that, but it's them finding it when they're about to die, and then proceeding to, you know, too much, no, it's like really anxiety inducing to me because I have a big fear of death, so reading this and reading what some of these people are going through, I'm just like, alright, I'm gonna have to put that down or I'm gonna have a panic attack. So this will be shelved for now. I might pick it up and read a few more stories later. It's time to do a little update. I've been reading for about 5 hours now. Reading, maybe not. It's 5 hours into it, I guess. I'm right now reading A Psalm for the Wild Built. I'm on page like 40 or something, yeah. It's good. That's not why I'm doing that face. Was falling asleep a lot, like kind of falling, like mini micro napping while trying to read it. So then I got up to take a nap. I was gonna take one for 30 minutes, but then, and I told my husband, wake me up in 30 minutes. The man did not wake me up in 30 minutes. So I slept for an hour. That's why within these 5 hours, I think I have only read almost 100 pages. I've read about 80 pages within 5 hours. I'm a very slow reader. That is a fact for sure. I'm a slow reader. We'll see if I finish any book in this 24-hour challenge, honestly. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put out 4 books. I'm gonna totally read them all. Girl, no you ain't. Anyways, let's keep going. I have 17 hours left and I'm getting close to finishing this book, which is very exciting. I am loving it. Absolutely loving it. Oh my god, the robot in this, best character fucking ever. I really think I could give this a 5 stars. As long as the ending if it keeps going the way it's going and the ending's good, 5 stars for sure. It makes me want to do better too for nature. Like, it really does. It makes me want to be a better person to nature and stuff. I'm loving it, truly. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'm being so slow because I know I'm gonna want to go to bed. So it's like, am I even gonna finish any other book? I know for sure I'll finish this, and I'll try to 100% finish my audiobook. But like, am I gonna even read any other book? I don't know. Maybe I'll stay up a little bit later tonight. Maybe I will. So it's I have 15 hours and 30 minutes left. I have officially finished A Psalm for the Wild Built. 5 fucking stars. Oh my god. I'll give a more in-depth like synopsis and review at the end of this video, but it's just like so, I just want to go out in nature now. I really do. I want to go out in nature. I just want to live out there. I just want to be there. I love the goddamn robot. Everything was just so good. It made me tear up, but in a like, oh my god, I love them so much way. Not in a like, it was sad. It definitely wasn't sad. It was just like it was so hopeful, you know. I'll give a more in-depth review later, but I'm just like, I'm so excited. It's currently 9:25. I like to go to bed between like 10 or 11, but I've only finished 1 book. I'm thinking I'll start Wildfire. And then when I get sleepies, I'll listen to my audiobook. And then in the morning, I'll try to read more of Wildfire. That's kind of the plan right now. But I'm glad I at least finished one book. It was so good. This is my first 5 stars of the year. So, one thing I don't really like about rom-coms recently, or rom-coms in general, I'm really not into rom-coms no more. One thing I don't like about these is they trauma dump a lot and very early on. Like, I'm just getting into this story. I don't need to know this whole guy's personal life and trauma before the story even starts. And I get why they do it in a way, because it's like they want you to feel for this character so you'll care enough to watch him go through this relationship. But like, I could find out some of these trauma things later on, like maybe when he's telling the girl that he's trying to romance or whatnot. I don't need to know them all on page 4. You know? I feel like I'm a fucking 40-year-old woman while reading this. Because I'm like, what the fuck are these children doing? A lap dance? In front of people? Y'all are making out in front of people? Ew. Like, y'all are 12. I feel old. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get what the appeal is. None of this is sexy. Cause like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. That they're doing this in front of people. In front of people, they're making out. Is over. I officially have finished. I actually think this worked out very well for me because I found 2 5-star books. Did I read as many books as I wanted to? No, I was very sleepy. I fell asleep multiple times while trying to do this. But I did find 2 5-star books. So, and those were my first 5 stars of the year. So, hallelujah. Am I right? So, I read Wildfire. I read to page 31. I read to page 31 in Wildfire, and then I listened to My Lady Jane for about an hour. So I went to bed at 1 a.m. Unheard of for me. And then I woke up around like, I think 8 and started listening to My Lady Jane again. And I had about 4 hours of reading to do. So I read that till basically my timer was about to end. I listened to My Lady Jane. So My Lady Jane, 5 stars, by the way. My Lady Jane was so good. And what made it 5 stars was honestly the audiobook. I highly recommend you to fucking listen to the audiobook. Because it was just so good. The narrator, she was so good. She made every single character distinguishable. And I just don't know how she did it. There were so many characters, yet I knew who she was doing. Such a good voice actor. Oh my god. I love her. And there's multiple books after this. The next one is about Jane Eyre. And then the last one is about another Jane, but she's southern. She's a country girl. And I'm like, oh, I gotta read that one. So I'm very excited to kind of keep going with that series. Also, A Psalm for the Wild Build has a second book. Yes! The 2 books that I read that were 5 stars have second books. Unheard of. So I'm very excited. I have lots of reading to go. But now let's just kind of get into a little wrap up of what I read. So, the first thing I read was cat brushing. I read 42 pages of cat brushing. I don't know if I'm going to DNF quite yet. I think I'm going to read a few more stories through this month and then decide if I'm going to DNF or not. The next book I read is A Psalm for the Wild Build. 5 fucking stars. I just really enjoyed it. It is about this tea monk who goes around and listens to people's problems and then gives them a tea according to how they are feeling, kind of like a Chinese medicine. And very interesting profession, right? He loves it, he's very good at it, but he's just not feeling fulfilled. So one day he kind of does something really drastic and goes into the wilderness, which no one has gone into for centuries, and stumbles upon a robot. And the robot is really wanting his help because he's like, oh, you're a human, we are the first human and robot contact in literal centuries, and I would like your help to learn more about what is going on with the humans since we have left. And so they kind of go through this journey together of the monk trying to find himself and then the robot trying to figure out more about humans and helping him find himself. But yeah, it's just a cute little journey, and then like they become friends and they start trusting each other. So much fun. And it made me want to go into the fucking woods. Like, it made me want to just go out back into the woods and have fun and be free. So yeah, 5 stars. Good little sci-fi. The next book I read was Wildfire. As I said, I only got 31 pages into it, and I am 100% going to DNF this. I don't enjoy rom-coms anymore. I really don't. I feel like a fucking old lady trying to read this. Like, the youths are doing this nowadays? Like, I can't do it. I just can't. So it's a definite DNF. And the last book that I finished was My Lady Jane. I have been listening to this book since the beginning of this month, and I absolutely adored it. It is a retelling of Lady Jane, Lady Jane Grey, who was a monarch for only 9 days in England, and then promptly, but this story kind of twists it and adds magic into it. So not everyone, but there are 2 different types of people. Like, some can turn into animals and some cannot, and there is like animosity between the 2, so that's kind of what's going on with the world. It is a historical fiction fantasy where they just twist the original story of Lady Jane Grey and add fantasy elements to it, and there's romance, there's friendship, there's all sorts of like fun creatures within it, and a great book. Thank you so much for sticking around with me for these 24 hours. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I hope to see you again. Bye bye.